Coming up on 5 Minute News. US House delivers Trump article of impeachment to Senate. US virus numbers drop, but race against new strains heats up. And 9 miners found dead 2 weeks after China blast. It's Tuesday, January 26. I'm Anthony Davis. Democrats marched the impeachment case against Donald Trump to the Senate on Monday night for the start of his historic trial, but Republican senators were easing off their criticism of the former president and shunning calls to convict him over the deadly siege at the U.S. Capitol. It's an early sign of Trump's enduring sway over the party. The House prosecutors delivered the sole impeachment charge of incitement of insurrection, making the ceremonial walk across the Capitol to the Senate. But Republican denunciations of Trump have cooled since the January 6 riot. Instead, Republicans are pressing a tangle of legal arguments against the legitimacy of the trial and questions whether Trump's repeated demands to overturn Joe Biden's election really amounted to incitement. What seemed for some Democrats like an open-shut case that played out for the world on live television as Trump encouraged a mob of white supremacists to fight like hell for his presidency is running into a Republican Party that feels very different. Not only are there legal concerns, but senators are wary of crossing the former president and his legions of followers who are also their voters. Arguments in the Senate trial will begin the week of February 8th, and the case against Trump, the first former president to face an impeachment trial, will test a political party still sorting itself out for the post-Trump era. Coronavirus deaths and cases per day in the US dropped markedly over the past couple of weeks, but are still running at alarmingly high levels, and the effort to snuff out COVID-19 is becoming an ever more urgent race between the vaccine and the mutating virus. The government's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, said the improvement in numbers around the country appears to reflect the natural peaking and then plateauing after a holiday surge, rather than the arrival of the vaccine in mid-December. On Monday, California lifted regional stay-at-home orders in favor of county-by-county restrictions and ended a 10 p.m. curfew. The shift will allow restaurants and churches to resume outdoor operations and hair and nail salons to reopen in many places. Elsewhere, Minnesota school districts have begun bringing elementary students back for in-person learning. Chicago's school system, the nation's third-largest district, had hoped to bring teachers back yesterday to prepare for students to return next month, but the teachers' union has refused. Health experts have warned that the more contagious and possibly more deadly variant sweeping through Britain will probably become the dominant source of infection in the US by March. The more the virus spreads, the more opportunity it has to mutate. The fear is that it will ultimately render the vaccines ineffective. Moderna said yesterday it believes its COVID-19 vaccine protects against new variants found in Britain and South Africa, although it will test a new booster shot aimed at the South African variant after concluding the antibody response could be diminished. Chinese rescuers have found the bodies of 9 workers killed in explosions at a gold mine, raising the death toll to 10. 11 others were rescued a day earlier after being trapped underground for 2 weeks at the mine in Shandong province. The cause of the accident at the mine, which was under construction, is under investigation. The explosions happened on January 10th, released 70 tons of debris that blocked a shaft, disabling elevators and trapping workers underground. Rescuers drilled parallel shafts to send down food and nutrients and eventually bring up the survivors on Sunday. Chen Yumin, director of the rescue group, told reporters that the 9 workers recovered on Monday died more than 400 meters below ground. He said there had been 2 explosions about an hour and a half apart, with the second explosion causing more damage. Chen and the other officials involved in the rescue effort held a moment of silence for the victims, bowing their heads. Authorities have detained mine managers for delaying reporting the accident. Such protracted and expensive rescue efforts are relatively new in China's mining industry, which used to have an average of 5,000 deaths per year. Increased supervision has improved safety, although demand for coal and precious metals continues to prompt corner cutting. A new crackdown was ordered after 2 accidents in mountainous southwest Chongqing last year killed 39 miners. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen Podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.